Every parent has said this at some point. कितनी बार बोलूं? आईपैड बंद करो, होमवर्क किया, ब्रश कर लिया, कपड़े रख लिए, टिफिन निकाल लिया, एंड देन 5 minutes later, अभी करो, क्या है? And suddenly the child is upset, you are frustrated, dinner is getting cold, and somehow a simple request becomes a full blown power struggle. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Because here's something most parents quietly struggle with. We love our children deeply, we want best for them, but somewhere between school, screens, homework, routines, daily stress, we end up talking in ways that create resistance, not cooperation. So that's where this book comes in. Today I'm reviewing one of the most famous parenting books ever written. How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. So, this book has been recommended by psychologists, teachers, and many parenting coaches for decades. And here's the real question: does this book actually work in today's homes? Because parenting today looks very, very different. Children have YouTube, gaming, short attention span, school pressure, tuition, social media, and emotions that are bigger than ever. And parents today are busy, tired, working, overwhelmed, and trying to do their best for their children. And in Indian homes, there's even more stress. Why? Grandparents giving advice, comparisons from cousins, academic pressure, respecting expectation, having too many expectations, and sometimes three generation is parenting one child. And today, I just don't want to just summarize this book or give you a big book review. I want to do something more useful. I want to explore what this book teaches, what actually works, and what actually doesn't work, and how we can apply it in real homes today. Because this book isn't about becoming a perfect parent, it's about something much simpler: learning to talk in the way that reduces the resistance and builds cooperation. Similar to what I keep saying, connection above correction. That is what it is about. And once you see these ideas, you will start noticing something surprising. Sometimes it's not that children don't listen, it's that they don't respond well to how we are speaking, and that it makes this book so powerful. So, what I've done is I have divided each section, each part, and given about 6 to 7 examples for each understanding each part. So, what are the 7 parts I've divided into? Number one, helping children deal with feelings. Second part is about getting cooperation without nagging. Third is about offering choices, that is, reduces the power struggle. Fourth is about alternatives to punishment. Fifth, encouraging autonomy, building confidence and independence. Number six, praise that builds confidence, which is deep and a very powerful section. And finally, freeing children from labels. You don't have to miss the end, guys, because by the end, I will exactly tell you, or you will be able to exactly decode how to parent better. So let's start with something which is very powerful in this book, that is helping children deal with feelings. That's part one. Helping children deal with feelings, it feels it's very easy. It's obvious. Obviously, we care about our children, we love our children, and we care about children's feelings. But in real life, there is where we actually struggle. Because when children are upset, tired, angry, or refusing to cooperate, we don't usually respond to their feelings, we respond to their behavior. I'm repeating it again. We don't respond to their feelings, we respond to their behavior. So, guys, I want you to do two, three things. One, get a pen and paper so that you can write notes wherever you feel something interesting is coming or something you've learned new, you can pen it down or you can share it in the comment section. Second, you can watch it in 1.5x speed. And third, wherever you're not understanding or it is becoming too overwhelming, stop it there and then, come back tomorrow, watch the rest part. You don't have to watch the whole thing at a stretch. Yes, give me a thumbs up if you've understood that. Okay, so your child says, I don't want to go to school today. And immediately we respond with, School जाना पड़ेगा भाई, ड्रामा मत करो. सब जाते हैं यार स्कूल, लेट हो रहा है, बस निकल जाएगी. So we focus on the task, but the child is stuck in the feeling, and that is where the disconnect happens. When children are overwhelmed with emotions, they cannot listen to logic. We all know that. Because emotionally upset children are not being difficult, they are being overwhelmed. And before we guide them, before we teach, before we correct, we first need to acknowledge what they are feeling. Not fix it, not dismiss it, just acknowledge it. That's the simplest we can do. So, example one. Simple, common example, morning rush. What children says, I don't want to go to school. And typical response, what we give, no choice, go get ready and don't do drama. But watch what happens when we just shift the response. Instead of immediately correcting, no choice, go get ready, try this. You really don't feel like going to school today? Looks like you're feeling tired this morning? Sometimes interesting things happens after this. The child feels understood, and once the child feels understood, they will be more open to cooperation. Not that they will quickly go and run and go to school, but at least they'll feel heard. And obviously, by the end of the video, you'll get to know what you have to do step by step. I'm just talking about acknowledging first. Yeah. Second example is about the most modern parenting battle, screen time. iPad band karo, TV band karo. Child says 1 minute mama, 5 minutes later, again 1 minute mama. Please mama, bas thoda sa, and their child is still watching. And then we raise ours. Band karo, kya ho raha hai? So, but instead of this, we can try something like this. I see you are really enjoying this video. It's very hard to stop in the middle. And now notice, you didn't allow more screen time, you didn't agree, you simply acknowledged the feeling. And often that reduces resistance. The child might have a little tears, have a little meltdown, but then as soon as you acknowledge the feeling, the child feels heard. This is one of the most surprising thing about parenting. Children don't always need us to solve the problems or solve their feelings. Sometimes they just need us to recognize them. I'll repeat this again. Children don't always need us to solve their feelings or problems. Sometimes they just need us to recognize them. Now, third example, child lost a competition, they're upset. So our typical response will be, it's okay, don't cry, next time it'll be better, you can do it, I know that. But this actually dismisses their feelings of being upset. You can simply say, I know you worked hard and you really wanted to win. That hurts when you don't win. That one sentence makes the child feel seen, and when the child feels seen, they calm down faster. Example 4. This is again another relatable situation. You're leaving Nani's house. Typical children will cry because they love their nannies. I don't know how do nannies make sure that the children fall in love with them. And we say, बस करो रोज का ड्रामा है यार जाना तो पड़ेगा ही ना. Instead, try this. You wish you could stay here longer. You love being with Nani, and I love it too. But we still need to go, bacha. This doesn't change the situation, but it changes the emotional experience. And this is something I really appreciate about this book. It doesn't tell us to remove the limits. It doesn't tell us to let the child do whatever they want, like the permissive parenting. No, it simply tells us to recognize the feeling before setting limits. Because empathy is not weakness. Empathy is what makes discipline work better. Now, example five. Now, even with older children, like teen says, I hate this house. There's so many times they say, I hate you, mama. I hate you, papa. I hate this house. I just don't want to stay in this house. And we immediately say, don't talk to us like this. This is not fair. We do so much and you are saying like this. But instead, just change your tone. You're really frustrated right now. As soon as you acknowledge that feeling of frustration, one, they are learning to name the feeling. And second, this reduces the escalation. Because when we argue with feelings, they make it bigger. When we acknowledge feeling, that helps them settle. So first lesson is before correcting behavior, acknowledge feelings. Because children who feel understood are more willing to cooperate. Now comes the next section, that is part two, getting cooperation without nagging. Once we understood that the children cooperate better when they feel understood, now it's important that how do we get children to cooperate without actually constant nagging? Because if we are honest, many homes run in reminders. Brush karo, backpack karo, bottle bharo, homework karo, shoes pehno, shoes ठीक जगह पे रखो, light बंद करो, and everything. And we repeat these things again and again and again until finally we just lose our patience and then the tone changes. But here's something very interesting. This book suggests that sometimes it's not that children don't listen, it's that they have stopped responding to how we ask. When we repeat instructions again and again, children slowly tune them out. It is like background noise, boss. Nahi sun raha mujhe. And eventually, they only respond when we raise our voice, which creates a cycle. What is that cycle? We nag, they ignore. We escalate, they resist, and everyone frustrated. Again, we nag, they ignore. We escalate, they resist, everyone frustrated. So instead of nagging, say less, be clear, describe the problem. I'll explain you how you're supposed to do it. So again, I'm going to show the same thing, similar examples wherein uh, it's evening time. School bag is still lying in the corner. Typical response, कितनी बार बोला है
Your
bag
tiffin is
हटा लो
still in the
यार यहाँ
bag.
से. So when you say this, कितनी बार बोला है क्या है, so what you're doing, you're trying to create a blame game. I know it's difficult. मैं भी बहुत बार बोल देती हूँ. But honestly, lecture, blame, frustration will not work. One word, tiffin, bag. Because when we say less, then they understand better. And this actually works. Let me give you the second example. Children left the towel, wet towel on the bed. What we respond? तुमसे एक काम भी ढंग से नहीं होता है. It is just a towel. Instead, try saying this. Wet towel on the bed makes the sheet wet. You're not attacking the child. You are simply describing the situation. So this small shift, what did I do? I did do two things. In the first example, I just said a word, less is more. Second example, I did not attack the child. I just described the situation. भाई टॉवल से शीट वेट होता है और मम्मा को वेट शीट में सोना पसंद नहीं है या उसमें स्मेल हो जाता है. That's it. So this is a very small shift, but emotionally it is very different. When the child hears criticism, they defend. When the child hears information, they cooperate. Now let's move to the third example. Child watching TV, homework is still not done. Sounds familiar? Typical example, homework karo abhi. What is a better example? Homework is due tomorrow. Let's quickly do it, and then when we'll watch TV or whatever. No lecture, just information. Homework is due tomorrow. And often, this is what works. Example 4, shoes lying in the middle of the room. कितनी बार बोला है शू रैक पे रख लो? Instead, try shoes belong on the rack. Or shoes, short, calm, clear. Example 5, morning rush. Child sitting, not getting ready. लेट हो रहा है यार, जल्दी करो, बस मिस हो जाएगी. Instead, okay, it is 7:20. 7:30, in 10 minutes we'll be out. We'll just leave in 10 minutes. Simple, neutral, clear. So what have we understood in this? Sometimes when we remove the unnecessary tension, because sometimes it's not the request, it's the tone, it's the repetition, it's the frustration that creates resistance. Example 6, screen time over. बंद करो, कितनी बार बोलो यार, screen time बंद कर लो. Go close to the child. Screen time is over. Short, calm, firm. No lecture. Now, this doesn't mean children will cooperate instantly every time. I'm sure by that you would have understood. Parenting is still messy. But what this approach does is reduce unnecessary power struggle. And over time, children becomes more responsive. Say less, describe the situation, give information, avoid nagging. Because children often resist the tone, not the task, how we speak. And once we reduce nagging, the next challenge becomes even more interesting. So, next challenge is about offering choices and reduce the power struggle. So, once we reduce the nagging, okay, हमने एक्नॉलेज कर लिया उसका nagging, हमने एक्सप्लेन कर दिया सिचुएशन. पहले फीलिंग एक्नॉलेज करो, फिर एक्सप्लेन करो. नाउ थर्ड इज हम फिर उसके बाद चॉइस देते हैं, दो चॉइसेस देते हैं. That's why that comes to part 3. So once we reduce the nagging, another big challenge still remains, that is power struggle. Because parenting often turns into this. Parent says do this, child says no. Parent insists, child resists harder. And suddenly it's no longer about brushing teeth or turning off the TV. It's about control. And that is why we need to offer choices. Children, just like adults, want some kind of control. When everything is decided for them, they resist. When they are given limited, safe choices, they feel respected and cooperation improves. Let me share a few examples. Now, morning rush, children not getting ready. Wear this shirt, no. Power struggle begins. So instead, try blue or red. White shirt. You are still guiding. Now, if the child has a school uniform, suppose you say you want to have bread butter or milk and toast, or milk and chocos, or whatever you have to give choices so that the struggle is getting lighter. You are still guiding, but the child feels that the child is in control. This small shift just reduces the resistances. Let me give you a second example on bedtime. Child refuses to sleep. Very typical. Go to bed now. No, I'm not sleepy. So instead, try, okay, story first or brush first. You're not negotiating bedtime. Bedtime still remains the same. You are giving control within limits. Now, why is this important? Because offering choices doesn't mean giving up authority. You are still setting the boundary. You're just allowing dignity inside the boundary. That is so sweet. Example 3 on food time. Child refuses the vegetable. Finish your vegetable now. The child says no. Now, no. Okay, carrot or cucumber? 2 bites or 3 bites? 5 bites or 7 bites? So children feel involved and resistances reduces, guys. Yeah, I hope by these examples you are understanding better. Now let's talk about example 4, which is about screen time. Screen time over. Child resist. Do you want to stop now? or after this level. This is especially helpful with gaming because you've given two choices, stop now or after the level. This is especially stopping in the middle is frustrating. You all agree with me because stopping now means हम कुछ काम कर रहे हैं और कोई हमें बोल रहा है okay done, just go. You'll say wait yaar, I'm finishing that work, right? Now, example 5. I don't want to do the homework. Very, very normal. Everybody says that मुझे नहीं करना homework. So instead of forcing, try, do you want to start with maths or English? You're still moving forward towards the homework, but the child feels, oh, somebody is asking me, you want to do this or that. Now, bath time. Child says, I don't want to take bath. Okay, bubble bath or quick shower. Why I'm sharing these examples? Because these are the examples I've seen it works, because small choices will actually make a lot of difference. Try this, guys. Leaving the park, the child's playing happily. Time to leave. No, ghar chalo. No, meltdown, crying, drama. Okay, two more slides or three more slides. Okay, mama, three. And this prepares the child emotionally and transition becomes easier. So, what I love about this idea is that it respects children without removing boundaries. You are still guiding, you are doing it in the way that reduces power struggle. Of course, choices won't work every time. Sometimes children will say, I don't want it either. मुझे कुछ भी नहीं करना. That's okay. You calmly repeat, these are the two choices. Consistency is the key. And once we reduce the power struggle, then the next challenge is parenting, is discipline. Because every parent wonders, how do we correct the behavior without shouting, without punishing, or without damaging a relationship? So, part 4 is on alternatives to punishment. Because a lot of parents say, ma'am, hum bhi to maar ke hi bade hue hain. We have got a lot of slaps. We have been hit by our parents. We are fine. But today I'm going to share the alternatives for punishment. Alternatives, why are they required? What is it? I'll just explain everything. Because once we reduce nagging, once we reduce the power struggle, and then parenting is about discipline. And every parent eventually faces moment like this. Child throws something in anger, sibling fighting, homework lying, talking back, breaking something, ignoring rules. And in those moments, most of us react the way we have been raised, the way I've just told you. Yeah, we say this like, bus, no TV for a week. Go to your room. Your phone is confiscated. Abhi ke abhi sorry bolo, or else. And sometimes punishment works in a moment. The child stops. But what is that important question? Does punishment actually teach responsibility or does it create fear? Now, I want you to stop the video and tell me, when were you punished and what did you feel from inside when you were punished? Did you feel happy? Did you feel responsible? Did you feel scared? Did you feel irritated? Did you feel agitated? You tell me what you felt. Because that is how it will give you the answer. So instead of punishment, focus on teaching and guiding. Because punishment often creates fear, resentment, lying, blaming. But guidance builds responsibility, self control, trust. So let me share a few examples. Child throws the remote. No TV for a week. We typically say, बस ना अब TV मत देखना आप. But try this instead. I won't let the remote be thrown. I'm keeping it away. So I immediately stopped that. I said, I'm not going to allow this. This is not something which is happening. I'm keeping it away, boss. I'm being calm. I'm being firm. I'm being respectful. You are setting a limit without attacking the child. Notice something very important here. You're not ignoring behavior. You are still setting boundaries, but you are doing it without humiliation, without anger, without power struggle. Let me talk about the second example, which was about sibling fight. Two sibling fighting, one hit the other, one bit the other, whatever. And you immediately came out, you were boggled, you saw it, you were shocked. Go to your room. I won't let you hit you. You're so ridiculous, you're so ill-mannered. Now, instead of that, why don't you try? I won't let you hit. You are angry. I know that. Take some space. Separate them. You're acknowledging their feelings while setting limit. This is discipline without punishment. Example 3. Child draws on the wall. Get a tight slap on your face. What is this? Just got the walls painted. Does it look familiar? But try this. Walls are not for drawing. Paper are for drawing. Let's clean it up together. Let's get some soap and scotch white or something. Let's wipe it. Let's clean it. So what are you teaching them? You're teaching them responsibility. Child, example 4. Child spills the milk while fooling around or walking here and there. See, I told you, you're always very careless. So try this. Milk spilled. Cloth is here. Clean it. Let's do it. I know you can clean it well. Take some tissues. Do it. You are solving. You're not blaming. This reduces the shame. Example 5. Very powerful. Child lies about homework. Phone confiscated. It's because of the phone you've not been doing the homework. Now you'll not get the phone for 2 weeks. Instead, try this. I'm upset that homework wasn't done. Let's figure out a plan. Let's create a schedule wherein we'll complete the homework on time so that we don't miss it. So you're addressing the problem. You're not just punishing the child. You are understanding jo ho gaya, wo actually ho gaya. We can't help about it. But moving forward, we can improve it by actually solving the problem. It doesn't tell parents to become soft, guys. All this does not tell parents to be soft. It tells parents to be calm and firm because discipline works best when children feel respected, not scared. Now, example 6. Child secretly watching after limit. No screen for a week. You say that, obviously. If you're watching for 1 hour, you were supposed to watch for 20 minutes. No screen for a week. Instead, screen time ended earlier. I'm turning it off now. We'll try again tomorrow. Firm, calm, consistent. You just switch it off, close it. I'm not happy about the screen time. You've exceeded your screen time. So whatever we need to do it, we'll try that tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll try to stick to that time. I'll create a time limit. A clock or whatever. So instead of punishment, set limits, stay calm, teach responsibility. Because discipline should teach children, not scare them. And once we shift the discipline, another powerful idea emerges. Helping children become independent and building the confidence. So, here's about part 5, encouraging autonomy, building confidence and independence. Another very powerful idea is encouraging autonomy, or in simple words, helping children become more independent. This is something many of us struggle with. We want confident children, but at the same time, we pack their school bags, we remind them 10 times, we finish their project, we speak for them, we solve their problems, and slowly child starts depending on us for everything. Confidence doesn't grow when children are constantly helped. Confidence grows when children experience themselves as capable. I'll repeat it again. Confidence doesn't grow when children are constantly helped. Confidence grows when children experience themselves as capable. Let's share a few examples. Child lost the water bottle. मम्मी मेरा water bottle कहाँ है? In kitchen, जल्दी ले लो. But instead, where did you leave your bottle last? Where did you see it? Why are you supposed to guide him in the kitchen? It's this bottle. Where did you last see it? You're not arguing, you're not ignoring, you're encouraging his thinking. And this small shift builds the independence. Let me give you the second example. Suppose it's a school project. School project announced. End up making the entire project. Late night, thermocol, chart paper, glue. Instead, try. I'll help you think, but you make it. You're supporting, but you are not taking over. Help the child. There's no harm in helping. There are times children need our help. That's fine. But if you make the whole thing, the child will not learn. The project need not be flowery, not be very beautiful. It can be shady, but it is child's work. The child will feel I have created it. Whatever the child says in the school, I have created it. But child inwardly knows my mom and dad had done it, or whoever has done it. Yeah. Example 3, child forgets homework. Parent rushes to school to deliver the homework. Obviously, we don't want the child to get angry. So instead, try. This must be frustrating. What can you do tomorrow to remember? Don't deliver. Because this builds their responsibility. Number 4, you are at a restaurant, parent orders everything. Instead, try. You tell Bhaiya what you would like. Small moment, but big confidence builder. Children love to order. Example 5, friendship problem. Child says, my friend isn't talking to me. Your typical example. Oh, our typical example, I will call his parents. I'll talk to your friend. In the evening, I'll go and tell him that you should talk to him. Instead, try, what do you want to say to him so that he talks? You're guiding and you're not solving, guys. This idea is very powerful in our homes because we often show love by doing everything for our children. But sometimes the best way to show love is to step back and let them grow. I use this example called you don't have to be supermans for your children and, helping them in everything, every problem. I am the rescuer. You don't have to be that. Yeah. Example 6, getting ready for school. Instead, did you pack your bag? Try. What do you still need for tomorrow? Did you check your timetable? So, what is happening? The child checks the timetable, puts the books accordingly. You are encouraging ownership. It is his ownership, it's not your responsibility. Example 7 and the last one. Teens forget the sports shoes. Parent fixes everything. Try this instead. That's tough. What's your plan for the next time? You want to write it in the diary or you want to hang it somewhere that you need to carry the sports shoes on these days. So natural consequence build their responsibility. So, this fifth idea, encourage independence because confident children are not created by constant help. They are created by small opportunities to take responsibility. And once children start becoming more independent, another powerful idea helps us build something even deeper, self esteem. So, part 6 is about praise that builds confidence. One of the most surprising chapters in this book is about something we all think we are already doing right, praise. Because as parents, we want to encourage our children, we want to build their confidence, we want them to feel good about themselves. But no. So we naturally say things like, good job, you're smart, you're amazing, you're best, good boy, good girl. And this seems positive, supportive, loving. But not all praises builds confidence. Some praise actually creates pressure. When we say things, you're so smart, you're the best, you're the topper, children slowly starts building an identity around those labels. And then something unexpected happens. They become afraid of making mistakes because if they are smart, what happens when they struggle? If they are the best, what happens when they lose? And suddenly praise becomes pressure. So instead of judging children, describe what you see. Instead of saying you are amazing, say, I see you kept trying even when it was hard. This builds something deeper, self confidence, and not approval seeking. Let me share you a few examples. Child struggles with homework but finishes. Typically, we'll say, oh, wow, so smart. I'm so proud of you. But try, you didn't give up even when it was difficult. This teaches him perseverance. Child's clean the room. Example 2. Typical what we'll say, wow, good boy, you cleaned your room. What is the better way to? I see your books are on the shelf and toys in the box. You are describing effort. Children feel proud of themselves when you acknowledge the effort, when you notice what they're doing. Example 3. Child shows drawing. Wow, amazing. Better response. You use so many colors and you filled the entire page. This helps children notice their own effort. You're saying things which probably the child did not knowingly do. Did it. Example 4. Child loses but tries hard. It's okay. You are still the best. Don't worry about it. Better response. Oh, you kept playing even after losing points. That's great. This builds resilience. You noticed what he did. Example 5. Helping at home. Child helps to set table or something like that. Oh, wow, good boy. Let's try better ways to say it. You can say you helped everyone by setting the table. Now the child feels useful, capable, valued. I did something for everyone in the house. So, what I love about this idea is that it builds internal confidence. Child stops depending on approval, praise, validation, but instead they're recognizing their own effort. Example 6. Child studies on their own. Oh, you're such a good child. Let's see the better ways to say it. You started studying without reminder? This builds self discipline. Example 7. Older sibling helps the younger sibling. Oh, you're such a good sister. Let's hear a better way of saying. You helped him even though you were busy. That builds empathy. Now, this doesn't mean we stop praising children. It simply means we praise more thoughtfully. Because the goal isn't to make the children feel good for the moment. The goal is to help them believe in themselves long term. So, in the sixth idea, instead of judging, describe the effort, describe the progress, describe the behavior. Because confidence grows when the child sees themselves as capable. And finally, the one of the very powerful idea of the book. Sometimes many parents don't even realize they are doing what actually they are doing, but it shapes how children see themselves, freeing children from labels. That's the final part, which is a part 7. Labeling children. Because in everyday life, we often describe children in simple ways. He's shy, she's stubborn, he's lazy, she's sensitive, he's naughty, she's responsible one, she's not good in studies, she's very emotional. These may seem harmless, but over time, these labels become part of how children see themselves. Children often grow into a roles we assign in them. When a child repeatedly hears, you're so careless, they start believing, I am careless. And slowly they stop trying to change. Now, I'll give you a few examples. The parent says he's lazy, he never studies. But imagine what the child hears, I'm lazy. Instead, try noticing small changes. I saw you start your homework without being told. You're changing the story, guys. Example 2. Indian families often say this. She's very shy. He's very shy. Instead, try. You took your time, but you spoke to them. You're helping the child grow beyond the label. And I often use the word like observant rather than being shy. Very common label. You're very naughty. Try this. You have a lot of energy today. This changes the child's identity. Example 4. This is one of the important one. You're weak in maths or not good in studies. So instead of saying you are weak in maths, try this. You understood those two questions today. Small shift builds confidence because As soon as you say you're weak in that subject, the child takes it in their heart and then thinks, yes, I'm weak. Yes, I don't know. Now, example 5. She is the responsible one, he is the difficult one. Usually you'll see it in the labels for the siblings. एक responsible है, एक मुश्किल है, ये ऐसी है, वो ऐसी है. Over time, children settle into these roles. They start feeling those roles. So instead, try this. Notice moments that break the label. You handled that calmly today. You are helping child see new possibilities. Now, this idea is powerful because children build their identity very slowly through how we talk to them, through how we respond to them, through the stories we repeat. So, if a child is very sensitive, so instead of saying you're too sensitive, oh, you feel things so deeply, that's so nice of it. Now, sensitivity has become her strength, not weakness. Now, forgetful child, for example, you always forget things. Try this. You remembered your diary today. You're helping the child rewrite their identity. So, what I really love about this idea is that it reminds us parenting is not about behavior, it's about shaping how children see themselves. And when we change how we talk to our children, we help them grow. So when I step back and look at this book, there are ideas that stand out. Guys, we need to help children deal with feelings. We need to reduce nagging. We need to offer them choices. We need to use discipline instead of punishment. We need to encourage independence. We need to praise thoughtfully. We need to avoid labels. None of these ideas are complicated, but they are powerful because they change something very important, the emotional climate of the home. Parenting today is messy. Children are growing up in a fast, digital, demanding world, and parents are doing their best. Often, while feeling tired, overwhelmed, unsure, this book doesn't promise perfect children and it doesn't promise perfect parents. It offers something very valuable, a different way of talking. Because sometimes parenting doesn't change because we love more. It changes because we communicate differently. How we change, how we talk, and we slowly change how children respond to us. So if you found this video useful, tell me in comments what is that one thing your child never listens to. I'll reply it with better way to say it. Because parenting isn't about controlling children, it's about guiding them while keeping the relationship strong. Just like I always say, connection is above the correction. If you're connected with your child, you will not need to correct the child because the child would know what to do after that. I hope you found this video useful. Take care. Happy parenting. Take good care of yourself.